channel. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update as to where we're at now. So if you saw my first short, you will have noticed that Dad has started the wiring. We've got some wires coming down from the roof, but it's going to take longer than a week to finish. So what I'm going to do this week is give you an update as to where we're at and what's going on, how much I've spent, how many hours I've put into this so far, and then Dad is going to explain to you what we're doing with the electric setup. First things first, the bulkhead is back in. As you can see, we have just sealed it with this edge for the moment and popped that back in because we needed to work out where to mark out the bench. All the electrics are going under the corner sofa there. So after we've installed that back in again, what we did was mark out with masking tape. So end of seat, inverters going there, plugs, etc. So Dad could then sort the electrics and make sure everything fitted under there. We have also marked out where the bed's going to end, where the Truma heater's going to go, the gas, the hot water, the cold water, because in 3 days the LPG underslung tank is being fitted. Woo! So we had to know where the Truma was going before that was fitted, so that's sort of why we've done this bit of work now. And then this section across here to the door is where the kitchen's going to go. I haven't chosen my shower tray yet, and there's going to be a shower tray plus a wardrobe in that section, so that's just been left. But other than that, taping out the floor has been really good. Gives me a proper feel as to what it will be like in here now. You know, the layout, I just keep coming to stand in her. I just love how she feels now, the energy of her now, the insulation's in, you know, the sound is muffled. It's just, it feels so cozy to be in here now, and it's so warm. I mean, we've had minus days, haven't we? We've had a load of snow this last week, and I just keep standing in here and I'm just so excited and so happy. I thought of a couple more reasons as well why I wanted to keep the bulkhead in. Another one, privacy. Oh my gosh, like I hated the fact that the windows were there and somebody could just see straight into me. May sound weird because I'm posting some of my life on YouTube, but I'm a very private person these days, and obviously I can choose what I share with you on YouTube, but I don't want anybody to be able to be looking to my house. It's my house, and also I quite like being in the nuddy. So I wouldn't feel comfortable with all the windows. So that's one. And secondly, another one I remembered, the window covers, or like those blinds. If you have window covers, then you've got to store them somewhere and it's just a pain. And those blinds, my parents have those built-in blinds in their motorhome. I don't really like that style of blind. They're very expensive, and it also makes it extremely obvious that somebody's sleeping in the vehicle. Whereas if I just have this separate, it just looks like a cab. So there's a couple more reasons I remembered. Stupid neurodivergent brain, I forget everything. So now Dad is going to show you what he's doing with all the electrics.
So the AC is going to go from the outside in here, and the AC circuit breaker is going to sit on the wall there. We've got this really snazzy charger that does AC, solar, battery and engine running, so that's pretty cool.
We got upsold that one, didn't we, Dad? We weren't going to buy that to start with, but then
so
we got
that's
upsold.
Our smart controller for the solar. People are asking, because we connected it in series, about, oh, your voltage is going to be too high. This can take 100 volts maximum, and we've had 60, so we're running at 2/3, which is brilliant. That goes into this now, not onto those, which is pretty cool. Goes into this one here, and this controls the charging. Number 5 goes to the fuse box.
That's the fuse box in there.
Which is going to sit in here, and then that's going to be for all this wiring. This is our beauty monster 12 volt 200 amp hour battery.
Yes.
And the inverter we put in on the bulkhead, mounting it there, so the switches and the plugs are at this side.
So he's going to create a little door for me so I can plug things in from that side.
That's it. And that's going to be basically it. Any questions, send them to Becca. and I'll answer them.
And you'll answer them. And look what he's done. So yesterday, bless him, I left him with the van all day, and he has...
And conduits everywhere.
Conduits everywhere, wires coming out of the ceiling, you know, because we decided where the lights were going. He's done an absolutely wonderful job. Took off my insulation, but, you know, we'll let him have that one. And that's where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So the fan's completely wired in now. in a conduit in there.
Yeah, that
for
goes.
everybody who worries. These are the conduits.
Yes,
that,
all the wires are feeding through these little conduits to protect
the
them.
off-screen lights we've got here going into a conduit. One of them's already wired in. These are pull-throughs, so I don't struggle pulling. So I put a new piece of cable on here, tape it onto here, and I've got an endless piece of wire that pulls it through, so I'm not struggling away.
Amazing.
And the switches.
Oh yeah, this is where my control panel centre is going to be.
This is where the control panel's going. So switches for lights, outside lights, LED, strip lights, you name it. It's all going to be controlled from here. The Truma control panel is going to be there, and probably the water.
Yeah, everything. We'll put everything there.
Going to make a little control panel up there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
we're on progress.
Yeah.
I brought a stool in and I've placed it where the seat's going, so I actually am able to sit and look out the window, and it's becoming very real. And even though we're probably not even halfway there, I feel like we've made mad progress, because now really all the preparation work is done. So I'm going to IKEA to pick up the stuff to make the bed. So like the building work is going to start soon. What I thought I would share with you now is how much I have spent so far and how many hours we have put into this, because I'm not doing this full time. So I've got my figures and facts here. The drum roll. Now bearing in mind I have bought everything other than the fridge and the shower door for the van. I just obviously haven't put it, so it's all in the house, I just haven't put it in yet. I have spent so far £6,686.95. What? Yeah, that's a lot of money. The van was 9,700. I have spent 6,686 on it so far. So that's probably going to be about £8,000 by the time I'm finished with all the wood and everything like that. Which really, for a house, 18 grand for a house? Oh yes, please! And I've worked out, I am keeping track of how many hours we're doing. So total so far, I've got 60 hours of work has gone into this. Now, I did several hours myself, but then there's also like 1 hour of this is both Dad and I working. So potentially it's probably close to like 80 hours. If you double up the time for 2 people working, it's probably closer to 80 hours that we've spent on it now. So that's all right. You know, it's not even a full-time week really, is it? The LPG gas, as I've mentioned, is being fitted on Thursday this week. So that's going in. That's sort of like the last big thing to be fitted underneath the van. And then once that's in, we can connect, you know, everything that runs off the gas can then be connected. So that's kind of a big deal. That's cool. And it's pricey. Oof. Getting the LPG underslung, it's nearly 800 quid, man. What? But will be totally worth it, because I worked out, and especially if this was as the diesel prices were going up, it was going to cost me 25 to 30p an hour to heat this if I was to get a diesel heater, whereas my LPG heater, even though it costs a bucket load more to start with for the outlay, it's going to cost me 6p an hour to heat this. So that was a no-brainer for me. Invest in a Truma. I'm installing a Truma 4E, and yes, they're over £1,000 and they're expensive, but it's like a mini combi boiler, and I just thought that was better to do than buy a cheaper diesel heater, because diesel's going up, LPG's cheaper. If you get the underslung tank and you're not having to use those bottles, again, that's better, and even more so when you go abroad. So the infrastructure for LPG in Europe is a lot better as well. So I went for the LPG instead of the canisters. And finally, I have set up a Patreon this morning. I know lots of you were asking if you could like buy me a coffee or support me some other way financially. I have set it up today. So if you would like to support this channel, you can do so from as little as £3 a month or 10p a day. If you go over to Patreon, I'll put the link in the comments for you in the descriptions. You can click on it. There are more tiers, so if you'd like to support me more, you can do, and each tier gets better and better rewards. So the more you give me, the more you get back, basically. So if anybody would like to support me, there's the link. I would be extremely grateful, and you can help get Betty on the road. and help me get back on my feet after 8 years of utter shite. Oh, I think that was my first swear word in a video. Ooh. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this update. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!